thinking about upgrades and really the whole of gameplay for Command & Conquer 4, we knew we wanted to do something a little bit different, but also very interesting and that fit into the gameplay of Command & Conquer 4.
You know, now Tiberium's a controlled resource. No longer do you have these huge expansive fields of Tiberium where you have to go and harvest them anymore.
So when you take Command & Conquer 4's gameplay from a very base level in terms of multiplayer, what we had in place at first was this domination mechanic where you take control of specific areas of the Tiberium control network, and this gains you points over time.
There's this huge network that's kind of controlling Tiberium. It's no longer ravaging the Earth.
The Tiberium control network allows us to represent that. You'll see a variety of cables, pipes, emerge from cliffs, dive into the ground, emerge up into other different tech structures, and that's what's something I think gives a Command & Conquer a look that's different from previous titles in the franchise.
And we realized that we wanted to add a couple of things to the formula in order to make it feel a little bit more C&C, but also to add more points of interest to the map and to add more interesting gameplay.
So, you know, how to integrate it into CNC4. Our community loves harvesting Tiberium. I mean, they are crazy about Tiberium and wanted to figure out a way to get it into the game, but to have it make sense with the fiction, as well as add a new strategic layer to the gameplay.
So we took this idea of having a high level of mobility in terms of, and action in terms of the gameplay, and we thought, how can we absolutely double down on this, but also give fans some of what they want in terms of the Tiberium harvesting mechanic?
One of the most interesting visual challenges I feel we had was to represent kind of an unprecedented event in the Command & Conquer universe, and that is the fact that humanity has gotten a leg up on Tiberium.
That's how we got where we are now. And what we ultimately decided was that having players put down refineries to these particular areas and having large spread out Tiberium fields not only no longer played into the fiction anymore, but it also didn't play into the gameplay as well anymore.
So what we did is we have this crystal capture mechanic where these Tiberium crystals are regularly deposited into 4 different zones on the map, and then you can go and capture those crystals with one of your vehicles and move it back to your deploy zone or one of the auxiliary deploy zones that you can capture.
We created a number of different concepts, played with a bunch of different looks until we settled upon one that we felt was going to be visually recognizable to the player. So we settled upon the idea of it being a large crystal shard with a mechanical ring around it.
Another thing that we wanted to do was really bring back blue Tiberium and make it very interesting. So you'll also find blue Tiberium crystals, which give you twice as many upgrade points in more contested parts of the map where you're going to see a lot more combat occurring. Same general principle, it's very high volatility Tiberium that's spit out from the network and then needs to be collected or else it's going to continue accumulating at the surface.
So you can use them to your benefit, you can use them to your enemy's dismay, but it's a really cool way to get Tiberium integrated into the game. You know, it's very fast, you're trying to capture these control nodes, you're trying to keep the enemy at bay, but at the same time you gotta go out, have these units, you know, risk themselves, go grab these Tiberium crystals, but then everybody on your team obviously benefits by being able to get those upgrade points.
Tier 2 technology is now available.
Again, because they're so volatile, it's exactly why destroying these things is going to spawn one of the ion storms that you've seen in previous games and do a significant amount of damage.
But it's really a lot of fun, and it's cool when you think, okay, I got my enemy on the ropes, I'm about to grab his crystal, and boom, he detonates that thing, and everybody's dead.
So, detonate at your own risk.
We've been having a lot of fun with it. It allows you to keep in the fast gameplay of capturing those Tiberium control nodes, fighting with your enemies, but then also being able to really help your team out, grab those upgrade points and those crystals, and you know, hey, it's great having that roving bomb.
We're very excited to throw this new mechanic into sort of the old hat of RTS mechanics. We feel that, and a lot of the players that we've had play the game feel that it plays very interestingly into the new mechanics of Command & Conquer 4 and really the shift in RTS that we've taken into a much stronger focus on action, on gameplay, on what you're doing with each individual unit.
I was really impressed with everyone who worked on it.
I'm really excited to see it in the community's hands, have everybody play with it, because I think they're going to really enjoy it.
And I can't wait for you to play the game. Comes out March 16th.